All right, Christine, very happy to see you here today in our first, let's put it, client highlights or spotlights. So excited to have you here. You have been a successful client, someone that's been a pleasure to work with. You have achieved so much success, and I can't wait to dive into your journey. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time for you to introduce yourself, talk a little bit about yourself, things like how old you are you a mom, what are the things that you do?
Right. So my name is Kristine Kiley. I'm a teacher.
Yeah.
Uh, and also at home, I have two kids, 11 and 7. So I'm very busy with their sports and running around and everyday activities.
Very
Uh,
good.
Outside of work, I just love like working out. That's my um, favorite thing to do every day, almost every day, I should say.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome.
but other than that, it's mostly my kids and them keeping me busy.
Yeah.
um, and making sure that they have food every night and every day, I should say, and
Busy.
busy. Yes.
Yeah. So we've been working together since almost a year now. And I
In
remember
November. Yeah.
when we first met, I was like immediately drawn to you because I had a connection with you. I'm like, she's always wearing workout clothes. She's into this thing and this and that. So we kind of like, we got to know a little bit of each other. And you were actually one of my first, you joined one of my scholarships, right?
Yeah.
And you were amazing at it. You took everything to heart. You were very open to this. And what made you join and what made you continue on this journey?
Well, when I started, I was like, oh, I'll try it out, just see what she's got going on. And I always see you and what you're doing, and I'm like, oh, she knows what she's doing to some degree. Let's just check her out.
Yeah.
So once I started the scholarship, um, I was like, this isn't enough of a workout. I'm used to like doing more than this. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
working hard enough. This isn't going to work for me.
Yeah.
So I continue doing it. And then I'm like, oh, adding more weight. Now this is actually getting tough. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it was definitely a different type of workout than
Yeah.
I was do. But I think once I started seeing some changes in my body, I was like hooked. You had me hooked right from there.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
just
what I
watching what you're capable of doing, I'm like, I want to look like that and I want to be able to do what she can do. So let's give this a try.
Awesome. So walk me through it because I mean, you like talk about your background because you are always someone that was into working out, and I know you grew up doing sports as well, right?
Yeah.
What was
So
something that you used to do before?
in high school and college, I played soccer and I also ran track. Um, very busy doing that all the time. And then after that, I started working out at the gym. Um, and then I think it was after having Jackson, I want to say I started doing CrossFit. And
Okay,
that's where the workouts became very intense. And, it was a mixture of muscle and endurance. It was like a mixture.
I
Um,
see. Hmm.
so I would do that probably, depending on my schedule, 4 times a week, probably. And then if I wasn't able to make it to the CrossFit place, I would do it in my um, garage. I have also a workout station there.
Yeah.
Uh, so I would work out there on my own. It's
Hmm.
not as great because you don't have the motivation of other people, but I've made it work ever since COVID, just because we
Hmm.
couldn't go to the gym.
Yeah.
And then with my kids' busy schedules, I motivated myself, and that's what I do. And I have to keep going.
And I think that's why I like whenever I chose you to be one of the winners of the scholarship, I saw that with you because you had that motivation piece. No matter what, you were always a go-getter, right? And that was something that I always did too. Like even when I had my girls as babies, I didn't have a lot and I made it work. Like I'm gonna work out from home, got 2 pairs of dumbbells, whatever, you gotta do what you gotta do. But I remember at the time when I hired somebody to coach me, it was because I had reached that point that I'm like, I'm doing all this and I should be looking like this. And on your intake, you said something like, I asked what frustrates you the most about the way that you are working out and stuff. And what was the things that were frustrating you at that time, like before we started working together?
I wasn't seeing any progress. Yes, I was getting stronger. I have the muscle mass. But I think a lot of it had to do, my body was not changing. I still had that mother pouch, that, I mean, I still have, don't get me wrong, it's not 100%, but I've seen huge changes in my body. So I wasn't seeing the progress. And then also, um, I knew my nutrition was out of whack because I knew I didn't eat enough.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so that was another.
What was the things that you were doing? Like, so you told me that you used to work out 4 times, but then you would I know you would use to run as well. And how long would you say that your workouts would last during that time?
Um, it's hard to say because I feel like I didn't always do the full workout because it ended up being too much for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I did really enjoy running, and my runs would usually be about um 15 to 30 minutes or so, depending on how far. I usually ran about 2 to 3 miles, depending um
Mhm.
where I was going.
Yeah. So
But
would you say that what you do now is more than what you were doing then or not compared to what you used to work out?
I think it's about the same amount of time wise.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel like I was working harder. Like I couldn't catch my breath to do the next lift. It was in between, you'd run a little bit and then all of a sudden you had to lift up the bar that was, 65 pounds. And I'm like, I can't do this. I can't catch my breath. It's
Yeah.
too much. I
Yeah.
was working too hard.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
then
no changes.
yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm eating, the worst food possible just to keep up with that.
Right. And that's what I was gonna ask next. Like, how about your nutrition? What were some of the things that you tried in the past, nutrition wise? Because you were doing all this work, but you weren't seeing changes physically, like on your body, the way that you wanted anyway. Because I remember you saying, like, I wanted to look fit. I don't think I look as fit the way that I wanted to look. And then what was your nutrition like? Like, can you walk me through a little bit?
Yeah, so at times I've started like I don't want to say no carbs, but less carbs because that's what we hear, you don't want to eat carbs because that's how you gain weight. So I've tried that. I've also tried intermittent fasting where I wouldn't eat breakfast at all and then
Mm-hmm.
go right to lunch and then dinner and try to cut off by say 8 o'clock. So I wouldn't eat from like 8 p.m. till probably 12 p.m. or so.
Oh wow.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so and then I would be starving. So at times I would just pick the worst snacks possible or candy, go in my candy cabinet that I have. So, which should be for my husband who's diabetic, but
Yeah.
I found myself in there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I wasn't eating properly.
Yeah.
Um, then to come to find out when I started working with you, I wasn't even eating enough calories
Yeah.
for my body.
Right.
So that has been a huge change for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just knowing that I wasn't eating the right foods and I wasn't eating the right amount.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And what do you think about like the relationship that you had with food? Like before, I know you struggle a little bit, like you said, like going for the candy and stress eating and whatnot. Like, did you have the idea of like forbidden foods and can't eat this, can't eat that? Like, what was your relationship with food in that sense?
um, I wasn't really a big breakfast person to begin with, anyways. So I was okay with before doing the intermittent fasting and not
Mm-hmm.
breakfast. I do like it now. I love my bagel that I make and put my egg and
Yeah.
whatever protein on top of it to go with.
Mm-hmm.
But I mix it up here and there, and I've added new things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but um, my snack, I was a big snacker.
Yeah.
I'd rather snacks than eat an actual full meal.
Mm-hmm.
But I was probably also eating the wrong types of foods when it came to actual real food like dinner and lunch.
Yeah.
Uh, Even like I would eat, say, a salad for lunch, but it didn't have enough on it to keep me full for a longer period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Because you always think salad, oh, I'm eating healthy, I'm eating less, I'm doing a great job, and then you add on the salad dressing, which is the worst part of it for you,
Yeah.
or not enough protein, like your meats to go on it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's what I was doing. I was doing a lot of either not enough food or not the right type of food.
Yeah. So maybe you were like undernourished in that sense, and then you would just like overeat on things that were not
I,
filling.
I would be in the closet snacking. Yes.
Without realizing what you were eating.
Yes. Oh, I'll just have a little of this, a little of that. It won't add up to be much.
Yeah.
And it does.
So, like, do you think what was that you think that you were doing wrong then? Like adding all this up that you weren't really seeing changes in your body. Like if you could pinpoint a couple things.
I would say I wasn't seeing changes because I was working too hard and not getting the correct nutrition in my body.
Mhm.
Um, I think my workouts, like I knew what I was doing workout wise, but also learning new things and new ways to hit different muscle groups.
Yeah.
Another thing I didn't do before was legs because I thought, running was enough for my legs and I didn't want big, bulky legs. Well, what you have me doing, like lower body, I'm not getting big, bulky legs. I'm, creating muscle in them. And
Mhm.
I mean, that's probably part of it too. I was only doing like a lot of upper body. I would do lower body, but not like you have taught me. So,
Yeah. Would you say like the weights that you were using before compared to what you're using now, is there a big difference or not?
and some things, so I would squat to see what my max was. So I was probably for one squat, I would do like, I want to say it was, I don't remember. I want to say around 140,
Oh
150
wow.
a
Mhm.
squat.
Uh-huh.
Um, and that's like a back squat. So having that heavy bar across your back, which probably didn't help my back in the,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, but so I think it was a lot more, but like less amounts just to see what you're capable of doing or what's
Oh,
your,
I see. So it was more about pushing the weight, not so much the structure of the workout being there.
yes.
I
So
see.
change on a regular basis, but
Mhm. I see. And what do you think that has been like the biggest change for you since these last almost so it's been about 10 months. What has been like the biggest change for you?
definitely my nutrition. Changing that has, I mean, you've added calories to my meal plan that I'm like, I can't even eat all this food. And now I'm like, I can't get more. I love it. I
Yeah.
keep eating. I love all the um, different foods that you have taught me to create that I'm like, oh, wow, I would never thought of that. And I tell people about it and they're like, that doesn't sound good. I'm like, well, you got to try it first before you.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I definitely would say my nutrition has changed a lot and knowing different food groups based on like what is a protein, what is a carb, and what's a fat.
Yeah. And you were somebody that was under eating your protein quite a bit.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yes.
also your calories. I remember you saying there were times that you were under 1,000 calories.
Yes, that is true. Yes.
And then, I mean, I think that's for me, that's what I think your story is so remarkable because you were that picture of that person that's like, you were overdoing a lot of things. And on the other end, you were underdoing a lot of things. So would you say that's more is better, or what would your take be in that sense?
No, I wouldn't say more is better. Um,
Okay.
and sometimes I do need to step back because I try to do a little more sometimes than I need to, and I need to listen to my body and let it recover. So having a rest day is important on your body too, because that way your body can, you know, you gain more muscle and then let it, relax too and
Good.
try over again. Um,
Very good.
remember where I was going with that, but sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Now, let's talk about time because you said to me that you are a busy mom, you work, you have a full-time job as a teacher. How do you manage to have this in your life? Like, how do you manage to find time to work out, cook your foods? Because a lot of people tell me that they don't have the time, it's hard. Why do you make the time and how do you do it?
So what I do is as soon as usually I get home from work, before the kids get off the bus, I'm in the garage working out, starting my workout.
Yep.
And then I get them off the bus, sometimes in between the workout, and then they know what they need to do. They go get themselves together by, getting their homework done, getting themselves a snack, and then they know to get ready for their sports. So I'll finish up my workout. I'll come up and visit them for a little, and then we start our sports and every other activity possible. And then, it's like dinner time for us. So
Hmm.
some important things I do is I make sure I have time to do my workout. Or if I don't have enough time, I try to abbreviate it a little bit, shorten it, but I
Yep.
still get my core workout, like my actual workout and the most important parts of it, not the extras. Uh,
Hmm. Hmm.
that's what I focus on. And then for dinner wise, I have to meal prep. It's very important to me to meal prep. I don't make every single meal into containers. I make a big bulk of something.
Yep.
Usually the protein, the meats are done that day for the most part. But usually my vegetables and my carbs are ready to go that I just need to reheat them. And that way I know I'm ready to go. I have good, healthy food to eat, and I'm not going to eat, things that I shouldn't be eating.
Hmm. And why do you make this a priority in your life, Christine? Like, why you don't give yourself the excuse of like, because I know for me, I think what's remarkable about you is that your consistency. You show up no matter what. Why is this important to you?
Because I want to be around like later in life for my kids when they have kids and, be able to sit on the ground and play with them and be a good grandparent. So I want to live a long life of, healthy, happy. Um, so I think every day is very important to take care of ourselves. I also see my mother who never worked out before, who didn't have a chance because she was too busy with work or taking care of us or bringing us to our sports. And now she has totally changed her life around, going to the gym all the time, eating so healthy. And she's made a huge change, so I see that in her and I want to do the same thing for myself.
That's amazing. That's remarkable. And what is something that you would tell like other people if they didn't know where to start or if they thought that, taking time away from your kids, it's not a priority. You should be focusing on your kids. You should not do something for yourself. Like, what would you tell somebody that, if they think time is an issue to keep this a priority? Like, what would you say to somebody that's struggling with that?
You have to take time for yourself. You have to take care of yourself. It's very important because if you don't do it for yourself, you're not going to be able to help someone else. So if I'm not healthy or I'm not taking care of myself, how am I going to take care of my own kids? And I think that's very important. You have to take time out of your life. I call it my me time. And that's, and even my husband knows like, okay, she's going to work out. That's her routine. She has to do it. Otherwise, he says I'm miserable.
Oh, I copy that. Completely, I'm on the same page as you are. 100.
So he knows work out. The kids know my routine. It's the same thing just about every day. They know mom is working out. She's going to finish and then she's going to hang out with us and do what we need to do together. So I think it's important to take care of yourself first and then you can take care of the others.
Very good. Awesome. And it's like the people say sometimes, like people look at you sometimes and they think it's easy, but it's something that you have to make the time, right, to commit to it. And it's something that I know you even said to me, it's like this is a non-ending thing. It's something that I'm gonna do forever. And what would you say that's why do you think that people don't do it? Like why you think that a lot of people struggle with like taking action or why you think that is?
I think a lot of it probably has to do with time commitment for people. And what they want to do. I mean, I'm a person that cannot sit on the couch. I don't watch TV. I don't have time for that. So I think that is a struggle. Like a lot of people like to just sit and relax. Me, I can't sit still. So I think it's a good thing for me to get out my energy too. There are days that I'm tired, don't get me wrong, but I think time is a big thing for people. Um, I also think it can be a huge commitment. It's the grocery store, the bill is going to be a lot higher because those are the healthy foods and they cost a lot more money.
Mhm.
Um, so I think those are a couple things why people, and also if you don't stay on target, you could fall back very easily. So you can make a lot of progress. And if you don't keep up with it, you could fall back, just like a diet.
Mhm. What do you think of the mistakes that people make, that they cannot get this right? What do you think is like the biggest pitfall that people fall into when it comes to like try to lose weight? What do you think, in your opinion? I'm just asking from your point of view.
Move too fast and take off the weight right away. And it's all about the number on the scale. You have to be patient. I don't think it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a month. I mean, look at me. I've been doing this for, I think, 10 months now at this point, and I haven't lost a whole lot of weight, which is not what I'm looking to do. It's more my body composition, but it took time and it is frustrating, but it cannot happen overnight. Your body just cannot handle that. It's going to go back to where it was before.
Mhm. And I remember too, like we talked about confidence. And how would you feel that your confidence has changed from when we started? I know you were always somebody that had confidence, but you said that it varied from time to time and stuff. How do you feel compared to when we started?
Um, there's a lot of confidence factors here. I feel a lot better like wearing a bathing suit now. Just out in public. I mean, I would wear one before, but you don't always feel 100% confident. And now I feel like I got this. And whenever I go places, people are like, wow, you work out. And I'm like, yeah, I do, or I was at a restaurant and some lady was like, I want to feel your arms. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, how do you do it? And I'm like, well, I do work out, but it's really all about your nutrition. And that's where it's going to all come together. So I like hearing it from people too. Like they notice that I am working hard, and um, so my confidence, it gives me good self-esteem right there.
100%. Everybody loves Christine's arms. You are like the biggest inspiration of this group. Everybody wants them for sure. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Well, what would you say has been like the biggest thing that you have learned that you have taken away from, been working together from this community and everything else? Like what has been like the biggest things that you have taken so far, that you have learned so far?
Slowing down in my workouts. I mean, you talk about the mind and the muscle, connecting the mind and the muscle. And, before I was just doing it just to do it. And now I'm like actually thinking of where it is I'm gaining that muscle from. And if you slow down, you create that muscle better. It just, I don't know. I used to do it just as fast as I could just to get it done. And I'm like, okay, I'm good. No, you have to like slow down. I think that's one big thing that I've learned within my workouts, that I have to do. And I have to take breaks, because there was one point where I would try to, use the rowing machine in between my sets. And I'm like, no, your body needs to relax. So those are two things I would say for my workouts. And then nutrition wise, I mean, you have gone above and beyond for my nutrition, that um, I don't know where I would be if you didn't teach me all this that you have. I mean, you have great knowledge in that area too. Um, I think that I wouldn't know the difference between, I do know some difference between protein, the carbs and um, the fats, but I probably was overloading in more so in my fats area than I would be in my higher end of protein. So my nutrition overall, I have to say I've learned so much in that area.
Well, you've been doing it like a champ.
Thanks.
Oh, amazing, Christine. Well, thank you so much for taking the time with this and your message. I'm sure a lot of people are going to resonate with this, and hopefully, we get to inspire a lot of other women to do the same as you are. Thank you
Yes.
so much
Definitely.
for being here.
Thank you.
All right. So,